The Uruguayan government proposes a plan to eradicate child labor in view of the worrying figures. Our colleague Mateo Grillet tells us more.
Despite not being at the forefront of the news, child labor in Uruguay continues to be a scourge that needs to be urgently addressed. Thousands of children and adolescents are currently working in conditions that violate their most basic rights, and the issue was raised by the Uruguayan Ministry of Labor. In fact, the data we have is from the 2010 survey, which showed that between 65,000 and 90,000 children and adolescents were working. It is good to point out that a nationwide survey has just been completed and is being processed at the moment. And by the end of June, we will have more accurate data that will allow us to evaluate the real situation in the country and in the world. The new figures are not yet known, but the incidence of child labor is likely to increase, especially after a period of sharply reduced social investment. As soon as we have this survey, we will analyze the situation in Uruguay after the pandemic, after the cutback in public policies, after periods of salary reduction. Therefore, although we are going to wait, in reality we believe that it is a consolidated reality and that we have to face it jointly. But child labor is not just a figure, it is also an expression of structural inequality often naturalized in Uruguayan culture. What are we looking at when we talk about child labor? What are we talking about? What are we understanding? Because in reality we are starting from the premise that there are a lot of activities that are part of our culture as a country, of the way in which we understand that we live in society, in the way we treat our children and adolescents, that we do not necessarily measure the degree of impact they generate, the level of damage they can imply for their development, for their growth, and that go from that place to sexual exploitation or even participation in criminal activities of organized crime. The civil organization CIPUS, which has been working on the issue of child labor for 27 years, is calling for the development of a plan to address the phenomenon in a comprehensive and territorial manner. We have been very concerned for many years, especially about children and adolescents who get involved in illegal economic issues. Uruguay has a rate of deaths due to territorial violence of 11-12 per 100,000, but if we break it down by territory, there are territories where we are at 55 per 100,000. So in these issues of child labor and all this, one has to think about the different realities in different ways.
Las organizaciones civiles alertan por situaciones sociales graves que profundizan el problema.
Civil organizations warn of serious social situations that deepen the problem, such as high student dropout rates, high poverty rates, and low family income. The new government has promised to draw up a national strategic plan to combat child labor that would have 5 lines of action: early warning, institutionalism, training, coordination, and participation. Beyond the statements, the concrete reality imposes itself and demands urgent measures.
La realidad concreta se impone y exige medidas urgentes. Mateo Grille, TeleSUR, Montevideo, Uruguay.